Okay, so today I am annotating Brittany's, or I'm giving feedback on Brittany's annotations. I was under the impression that this week we were doing clauses. On Brittany's, she did the sentences again, which, I mean, that's fine. I can do a little bit of both. I'm not sure. I guess I either me or her misread. I don't know what happened. But to start off, she started saying that the very first sentence in her book, which is, actually called Before the Story from McGee. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. She said that this right here, they say Manic McGee was born in a dump. She said that this is a simple sentence. Because it's declarative. It's the very first sentence, sets the tone for the story, right off how the story's going to go. We already know a lot about McGee from the very first sentence. She was born in a dump, apparently. Then almost the exact next place, she goes in and says that they say he kept an 8-inch cockroach on a leash and that rats stood guard over him while he slept. This is what she said is a compound sentence. It's telling an interesting fact about McGee. It's declarative because of this. The author uses this a lot during this chapter. For clauses, they say he kept an 8-inch cockroach on a leash. That right there is an independent sentence. Like, they could put a period there and it could live on its own. But to say that rat stood guard over him while he slept isn't going to work as an independent sentence. If it was just rats stood guard over him while he slept, that could be an independent sentence. Or clause. Yeah. Okay. Next up, she specifies that they say, just they say, this sentence is another simple sentence. Because it's kind of like describing that it's like an opinion, or like, they say this, or they say that, something like that. What's true, what's myth? It's hard to know. She's pointing two different things here from almost the exact same sentence. What's true, what's myth? Okay, so this is a complex sentence. It's interrogative. This function's structure is asking a question. It gets the reader thinking about a possible answer, engages the reader in the book. I think I like that. I like that she made that point, because as a child reading this, I think that would definitely be something that's going through their head. It's hard to know is the next part that she pointed out. And that's just a simple sentence. It's declarative. This could have actually went along with the last sentence, but the other wanted it to stand on its own for some reason. This shows that this sentence is important, because it is important for the story. If we're talking about what's true and what's a myth, it is hard to know what's true and hard to know what's a myth. It's all sometimes it's based off opinions, sometimes it needs research, things like that. And that would be a good way for this to go into a lesson for kids. Let's see. Now, it looks like this is a chant from them jump roping outside. Okay. Now, here she's talking about voice. It says, I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Maniac, he's so cool. Maniac, don't go to school. Runs all night, runs all right. Maniac, kissed a bull. She says this is active voice, it's exclamatory. This is a fun way to get readers to engage. They will chant this instead of reading it. The setup lets them know this should be read in a different type of voice. By setup, she means the italicized words. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the italicized words do specify that should be said in a different way. So do the spacing here, that they should be separated. This is definitely active voice. This will be a lot of fun for kids to read. Having some loading issues. Here's another one. Ooh, we got a run-on sentence here. She says, okay, complex sentence. Declarative. The author is using the sentence structure to gain the reader's attention to once again explain details about McGee. It says, and if you want to know what it was like back when Maniac McGee roamed these parts, well, just run your hand under your movie seat and be very, very careful not to let the facts get mixed up from the truth. This might be confusing to me because I've never read the book, but as someone who's reading the book, this is also great information. And it is complex because I thought it was a run-on at first, but it's just a complex sentence. Now, parts of this that could be clauses. And if you want to know what it was like back when Maniac McGee roamed these parts, and if they put a period here, that would be a dependent clause because it needs more information and want to know what. Like, what are you going to tell me more? And then that's when the rest of this would come into play. But to say, just run your hand under your movie scene and be very, very careful not to let the facts get mixed up with the truth, that could be an independent sentence or clause. Looks like that's all we've got here. I'm having some loading issues, so it looks like that's it for that chapter, so she stopped there. Okay, well, that's it.